It was late October, just cold enough for the air to sting your face a little when the wind came through. I'd stayed at the office later than usual, one of those days where you look up and realize it's pitch dark outside, and your dinner plans are now whatever's still open on the walk home. My office is in the older part of town, all brick buildings and narrow streets, so at night it gets quiet fast. The kind of quiet where you notice your own footsteps. By the time I locked up and stepped outside, it was close to 9:30. The streetlights here are old too, those tall cast iron ones with bulbs that give off a dim orange glow, like they're half asleep. Some flicker, some don't even bother turning on. And that's when I saw her. She was across the street, standing under one of those sleepy lights. The thing that caught my attention wasn't her face. I couldn't see it clearly from that distance. It was her coat, a bright yellow trench coat. It almost seemed to glow against the wet pavement, and it was spotless, which struck me as odd, because the sidewalks had been slick with rain all day. She was looking in my direction, but not at me exactly, like she was looking past me. I turned and started toward the bus stop. After maybe 5 or 6 steps, I heard it, the sound of heels on wet pavement, slow, measured, matching my pace. I glanced over my shoulder. She was on my side of the street now. Not hurrying, just walking. I told myself she was probably just heading in the same direction. City sidewalks, damn boss, songwriter, Nami. I even slowed down a little, thinking maybe she'd pass me. She slowed down too. I tried to shake it off. The bus stop was only a few more blocks. I shoved my hands deeper into my pockets, stared straight ahead, and focused on the puddles so I wouldn't slip. Then I heard it, a laugh. Just a short one, not even a full laugh. More like the kind of sound someone makes when they remember a private joke. I told myself not to react. When I reached the bus shelter, I sat down on the cold plastic bench. She didn't sit. She stopped a few feet away, still standing, still wearing that yellow coat, looking off to the side. I pulled out my phone and pretended to scroll, but my heart was starting to pound. The bus took longer than usual. 10 minutes, maybe more. During that whole time, she stayed exactly where she was. At one point, I looked up and caught her staring, not at me, not at the road, but at the glass of the shelter, like she was watching our reflections. The bus finally came. I got on first. There were maybe 5 other people already riding. I went toward the middle and took a seat on the right-hand side. I told myself she wouldn't get on. She got on. She didn't pay with a card or cash. She didn't pay with a card or cash. She just nodded at the driver like they knew each other. Then she walked halfway down the aisle and sat directly across from me. No phone, no bag, just sitting, watching the window beside me. I thought about getting off early, but that would mean walking home alone in the dark. So I stayed put, trying to act normal. Every so often, I'd glance over. She never once looked at me directly, but every time my eyes moved, I had the feeling hers moved too, following in the reflection of the glass. When my stop came, I stood up. She stood up too. It's a 5-minute walk from the bus stop to my apartment. Normally, I don't even think about it. That night, every sound made me jump. The crunch of leaves, the hum of a streetlight, a car passing in the distance. Halfway down my street, I looked back. She was closer now, maybe 10 steps behind. I stopped. She stopped. That's when she spoke. Her voice was soft, but the words were wrong. You dropped something. I patted my pockets instinctively. Phone, wallet, keys, everything was there. I shook my head and said, I don't think so. She smiled, just barely. You dropped something, she repeated, back there. I didn't move. We stood there for maybe 10 seconds. Then she tilted her head, as if she was listening to something only she could hear, and took a step toward me. That broke whatever courage I had left. I turned and walked fast, not running, but close. My building came into view. I dug my keys out before I even reached the front door. When I glanced back one last time, she was gone. I didn't see her again for weeks. I even convinced myself it had been some weird, harmless encounter. Then one morning, I left for work and found something leaning against my door. A bright yellow trench coat, dry, spotless. And in the pocket, a small folded note. It only said, You dropped something. I still don't know how she knew where I lived. and I don't take the bus anymore.